Welcome to the next in my videos of inexpensive digital cameras. Now today we're going to take a look at the Panasonic Lumix FH20. And this is a compact point and shoot digital camera. And if you paid any attention to the pricing of compact digital cameras lately, you will have noticed that they've gone up dramatically over the past 18 months to 2 years. I'm not sure why they've gone up, but most all of the point and shoot compact digitals have at least doubled in price in the used market. Now, the Panasonic Lumix FH20 is no exception, but it has gone up less than the equivalent versions from Nikon and Canon. Canon PowerShots, Nikon Coolpix. Those compact digitals have gone up more steeply than the Panasonic. And that makes this a good camera to consider if you're looking to just get a point and shoot digital camera. Now, these cameras currently, you can get them for about $50 on eBay, in thrift stores, secondhand stores, and that represents a really good buy compared to what an equivalent Canon PowerShot digital ELPH would cost, which would be well over $100. And so what we're going to do is take a look at this camera, kind of go over what it offers, and see if you think it would be a good buy for the $50 or so that you'll have to spend to get one. Now, this camera was introduced in 2010, so it's approaching 15 years old. But at its introduction, it was a $200 camera, and it was quite advanced for its time. It has a 2.7-inch LCD screen, which is nice because it doesn't have an optical viewfinder, so you have to use the screen for everything. It's a fairly high resolution screen. Even though it's 15 years old, it still looks really good. The lens has got an 8x optical zoom, which is relatively standard for point and shoot cameras of the time. But it has some features that some cameras back in 2010 did not have. It has optical image stabilization, it has face detection, and it has high definition video capability. All premium offerings at the time. So this is what kind of set this camera apart from the competition back in 2010. All those features come in handy today because while they're standard today, they were not standard then. And for $50, you can get this camera and get all those features that are standard today. Now, this camera was designed to be easy to use and very intuitive. It has a limited number of buttons and dials on it, so you don't have a lot to pick and choose from when you're trying to select a picture. You can use just this button on top, the intelligent auto button. Just press that button and it will let the camera do all the work for you, select all the settings for the current scene. If you want to be a little more creative, you can go ahead and hit the mode selection, and there you will see my scene mode, which gives you up to about 25 different scenes that you can choose from. Everything from portrait scenes all the way to sunset scenes. That lets the camera choose what settings are best for that scene. There's also the normal scene that you can use, which will also allow the camera to pick the settings for the scene. Now, this camera also has a high sensitivity mode for low light pictures, which takes the ISO readings up to about 6400, so it's good in low light situations. And it also has on the back just a button you can press for macro scenes, which allow you to focus within about 2 inches of your subject. So a nice close focus feature on this camera. The lens will get as wide as 28mm equivalent, which makes for nice wide shots if you want to take wide angle scenes, this is a nice feature. Now what we're going to do is take a little closer look at this camera, take some photos with it, take some video with it, and decide whether or not this would be a good option rather than spending twice that for a Canon or Nikon camera. Then maybe just buy this for half the price and it will be well worth your money. So what we're going to do is take a look, and we'll be back after we look at it more closely. So stay tuned. We're looking at the Panasonic Lumix FH20. The Panasonic Lumix FH20 is a slim and compact 14 megapixel camera. It has a nice 2.7 inch LCD screen and a limited number of dials and buttons. If you just want to point and shoot, press the IA, the Intelligent Auto button, and the camera will pick the settings. It does a pretty good job of assessing the light and scene conditions. If you want to explore the scene options, it's easy to do. Just press the mode button in the center of the control panel on the back of the camera. You can choose from a wide array of scenes, including portrait, pet, outdoor, and landscape scenes. By pressing the macro button, you can focus closely on subjects and still keep them sharp. There's also a high sensitivity setting that lets you continue shooting without a flash in low light situations. The camera came with high definition video capability, and it does pretty well for a small compact camera. We had the opportunity to take some pictures and video with this Panasonic Lumix FH20, and I'm going to say I find this camera to be a good buy. If you're looking for a point and shoot camera, a digital camera, and you don't want to spend the money for a Canon or Nikon, this represents an excellent buy. It's a high-end camera. Panasonic has done a good job with this camera. The lens, which represents a wide angle to 8x, which is 28 millimeter to 224 equivalent, gives you some flexibility when you're taking pictures. The high sensitivity mode and different scenes, along with the macro selection, give you lots of options when taking pictures. And so I'm going to say the $50 or so that it will cost to get this camera, it's well worth it. And it represents a great buy in digital compact point and shoot cameras. Thanks for watching.